The countdown to kickoff is on, just days away from the big game. Sbu-Tv is live from Los Angeles with everything you need to know when the Rams and Bengals take the field. Plus, New York State drops the indoor mask mandate for now. What does that mean for our area? Could we see a return of the mandate anytime soon? And a SUNY Fredonia professor gaining worldwide attention this week for controversial comments during a podcast.
It's not obvious to me that is in fact wrong. I think this is a mistake.
We talked to one Fredonia student who weighed in on the professor.
Hey everyone, I'm Chief Meteorologist Aaron Mentkowski with your SBU weekend weather.
Sbu-Tv starts right now.
Good morning and welcome to Sbu-Tv. I'm Jordan Mejia.
And I'm Jordan Fitch. How are you doing this morning, Jordan?
Pretty good, can't complain.
Can't complain either. Let's get right into the masks policy updates. New York's mask mandate has expired. After extending the mandate twice, New York Governor Kathy Hochul decided it was time to let the policy finally go. Businesses across the Empire State no longer are required to make customers mask up or show proof of vaccination. Governor Hochul explains her decision.
Given the declining cases, given declining hospitalizations, that is why we feel comfortable to lift this.
Businesses and local organizations are now free to set their own masking and vaccine policies.
Mere hours after the state released their decision, St. Bonaventure University rolled back their mask policy. In an email released to students, masks are now only required for students in classrooms. Faculty, staff, and student workers still must make mask up while on the clock.
Hollywood is abuzz this weekend as Super Bowl 56 takes center stage in Los Angeles. The Cincinnati Bengals play host to the Los Angeles Rams. We now go live to LA where Sbu-TV's Nick Roloff is at Radio Row with all the latest on the big game. Good morning, Nick.
Welcome into Radio Row live from Los Angeles at the LA Convention Center for Super Bowl 56. It's a little empty in here as we speak, but it's filling up as the stars are coming in here at the Super Bowl. We met Josh Allen, Bills quarterback, yesterday. We were able to snag a picture with him. That was absolutely awesome. Bills fans, he's exactly how you would think he is. Super genuine, super nice guy. We have other players walking around. Justin Jefferson, star wide receiver for the Vikings. We were able to speak with former punter Marquette King, former Bengal Adam Pac-Man Jones, and former Dr. Surgeon General of the United States, Dr. Jerome Adams. That was absolutely awesome. And it's the final day here at Radio Row, and the rush is not slowing down. Athletes like Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, Trey Lance are walking around today, taking interviews on the floor and on other booths. In-person media availability for the Bengals is happening from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern today at UCLA's Drake Stadium. The Rams will also have availability from 4:45 to 5:30 p.m. at California Lutheran University's William Rollins Stadium. As the final day of Radio Row ends, the media will be coming together for the end of the week party at Universal Studios. If you want to see all the content that we've been producing out here, check out WSBU Twitter and Instagram for all that. Now we wait as we're a little bit over 48 hours from the big game. Jordan, thanks for having me. I'll send it back to you. I'll see you guys back at the sports segment.
Thanks, Nick. Super Bowl 56 is set to kick off on Sunday at 6:30 on NBC.
For the first time since the pandemic began, University Ministries is hosting a party where you can watch the big game. The organization is hosting a party for the first time since the beginning of the pandemic. They weren't able to host last year due to COVID-19 restrictions at St. Bonaventure. The event starts at 5:30 Sunday night in McGinley Carney Center Great Room.
Bets on the big game are already piling in from all over the nation. This year, the American Gambling Association is expecting U.S. bettors to wager close to $8 billion, almost double last year's number. The American Gambling Association is also expecting 31 million Americans to wager on the game, a 35% increase from last year. This is the first big game that New Yorkers can place mobile bets on. Even students at St. Bonaventure plan to bet this weekend. A poll on our Instagram page got 106 responses. 35% said that they plan to bet on the game this weekend.
Yik Yak's influence has spread far and wide on campus due to the multitude of negative and malicious posts directed toward the members of our community. These incidents led to the creation of the Yik Yak Task Force under the suggestion of the student government on campus. The task force aims to downvote posts that contain racist, sexist, or discriminatory language, as well as yaks that mention students by name in a sexually explicit or harmful or hateful way. With all these in mind, some of you may be wondering what Yik Yak is. What does it mean to upvote and downvote posts? And how will this help prevent negativity in the future? I dove into the ways that you need to know about Yik Yak. Yik Yak, originally released in 2013, is an app that users can post anonymously within a 5-mile radius. The app was taken offline 4 years later after its initial release date. It soon relaunched back again in 2021. So, how does the app work? Users simply create an account, add their phone number, and then it creates an anonymous account for them. The ins and outs of Yik Yak are so simple as what every user wants in an app. You just simply create an account, and then you're logged in. You can post anonymously and upvote and downvote. What does that mean? Well, we just talk about it. Users make posts, referred to as yaks, which are shared with other Yik Yak users within a 5-mile radius. Those users have options of commenting or upvoting and downvoting, which is essentially liking or disliking the post. A post that receives -5 downvotes is then deleted. University officials recommend downvoting and reporting negative yaks. Marisol Woods-Jones, the Black Student Union president, had a different response.
As far as the university goes, they made their statement, they said what they had to say, but that's not going to change anything unless actual changes occur, like within administration.
This is Jordan Mejia reporting, New, Now, Next. If you find a negative post on Yik Yak, users can downvote negative comments or report them to remove them, as recommended by both the university and the Yik Yak Task Force.
SUNY Fredonia students are outraged at comments made by Professor Stephen Kirshner. A petition to fire the professor has reached over 48,000 signatures this morning. Sbu-Tv's Kurt Martone has local reaction to Kirshner's comments.
An adult male wants to have sex with a 12-year-old girl. Imagine that she's a willing participant.
These comments made recently on a podcast clip shared to Twitter by libs of TikTok, Kirshner suggests that adults can have sex with children if they are willing participants. Alexander Kellogg Williams is a former student of Kirshner's.
I do think what he writes about, and especially, what he was talking about in that podcast, like, it enables that behavior, and that causes harm towards children.
After Kirshner's comments went viral on social media, SUNY Fredonia reassigned him to off-campus and non-teaching duties just 2 weeks into the fresh semester. The university gave Kellogg Williams a new teacher. And Kellogg Williams, who's had 2 classes with Kirshner, hesitant to call him what many have, a pedophile.
Even if I don't like the way he teaches or what he writes about, I don't think that there's direct causality between him writing about pedophilia and being a pedophile.
Here at St. Bonaventure University, Dr. Russell Woodruff, the head of the philosophy department, says Kirshner is just asking questions.
So basically what he's doing, in my opinion, is perfectly appropriate philosophy. He's arrived at some conclusions that I think a lot of people find striking.
However, Woodruff worries that Kirshner's views make it to the classroom.
As a teacher, he has a duty to be sensitive to that, to how what he's saying could be received by people.
I reached out to Kirshner and his lawyer, Barry Covert, multiple times this week by phone and email with no response. For Sbu-Tv, I'm Kurt Martone.
Kirshner and his lawyers argue that his research is free speech and should be protected.
Is it time to reevaluate how black culture is celebrated in America? Ye, commonly known as Kanye West, suggests replacing Black History Month with Black Future Month. According to social media posts from earlier this month, many students echo West's call to celebrate culturally more effective. Marisol Woods, president of St. Bonaventure University's Black Student Union, had this to say. Sbu-Tv will update you on any further developments via our social media pages. February is Black History Month, a time to celebrate black culture. Sbu-TV's Janice Washington talked to Delamar to find out Olean's impact on this month's celebration.
February is the month where we honor and celebrate African American culture. Olean is known for housing one of the stations of the Underground Railroad. One of Olean's veteran African Americans was Sarah Johnson. This week, I sat down with Olean's African American Cultural Center founder, Della Moore, to learn more about some of Olean's veteran African Americans.
Feels so different. I'm not me, when I'm dressed up as Sarah. I would love one day somehow, it may be in a dream, it come to me how she actually spoke.
Gives tours of Olean dressed up as Sarah Johnson because of her special connection with her. Sarah Johnson was a runaway slave who lived here in Olean. She lived at 607 Irving Street, which may seem familiar. And other slaves waited here in Oak Hill Park in order to hide while waiting to be transported to the next station. On her last leg of her trip to freedom, Sarah traveled along the historic Allegheny River. Olean residents and visitors are encouraged to take the walking tour of Olean, where they can find out more about some of Olean's African-American history. Reporting for Sbu-Tv, I'm Janice Washington.
The African American Cultural Center will have a presence at Tops and the Olean Library with a collection of posters for the public to view.
Construction projects are continuing around campus. We have an update for you on still unfinished projects, as well as new ones St. Bonaventure just started. Next.
And later, Sbu-Tv followed around St. Bonaventure's mascot, Riley the Wolf. We have a game day experience with him later in the show.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Okay, here we go, throw it!
Yeah. You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How was it? Is it good?
Hey everyone, I'm Chief Meteorologist Aaron Mentkowski with your SBU Weekend Weather Planner. You're going to find temperatures in the low 40s for your Friday with some rain arriving, mixing with some snow late in the day. That wintry mix will change to all snow Friday night into early Saturday. On Saturday, we start with temperatures in the 30s. Temperatures will drop throughout the day. Highs on Sunday only in the teens.
St. Bonaventure continues construction around campus. Sbu-TV's Aiden Varley talked to the university about new projects and when to expect other construction to be done.
St. Bonaventure has new plans to renovate the Doyle Chapel. The chapel will have a new rug, chairs, and a new sign out front. While plans to renovate the chapel are underway for the summer, other projects are not touched. The pavilion in front of Dev has huge boxes which have been there since the fall semester. The school plans to have the pavilion done for the warmer weather. The university also is renovating this Rathskeller. We were unable to gain access to the Rathskeller from the university. Jared Smith told me what the university is changing to the on-campus bar.
So it's a complete gut job. So new flooring, new lights, the stages was ripped out, new heating and air conditioning, new bar, new kitchen. So yeah, everything.
The Bonaventure sign has been done since the fall semester. The university is waiting for warmer weather to set seats on top of the sign for students to sit and see the nice view. The university was also given $3 million to renovate Plassman Hall. The university is still planning out on what they will do to improve in the building.
Plassman's going to get a big renovation too. So new heating and air conditioning system, new electric upgrades to electrical service, new windows, new furniture, new floors, new classrooms, everything.
With Sbu-Tv, I'm Aiden Varley. New, now, next.
The Doyle Chapel already has the new lighting and sound system in. The carpet and the new sign will be done late spring and into the summer.
Construction on a $1.5 million outdoor splash park in Olean could begin as early as this fall. The park will not be paid for by taxpayers. $500,000 of that $1.5 million will be from American Rescue Plan funding, and the rest will be paid in bonds. Olean City Council President John Crawford brought the proposal to the council Tuesday and said it would draw in tourism. The park could be open by Memorial Day 2023. Ukraine tensions continue to rise as world leaders meet with Russia to try and settle the dispute before war breaks out next.
You may have seen him at St. Bonaventure basketball games, Riley the Wolf. We got to follow the school's mascot around for a day in his life. Coming up later in the show, stay tuned.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
And look at
Former
the
New York
flag
Governor
with the
Andrew
seal
Cuomo
of the
planning a
United
comeback?
States
Not
that
just yet.
stands
In a
right
telephone
behind
interview with Bloomberg, the embattled politician said he is focused on clearing his name right now. Last year, New York Attorney General Letitia James led an investigation that found Cuomo sexually harassed 11 women. So far, 5 of the 11 harassment accusations have been dropped by the DAs. Sources close to the Cuomo claim he may challenge James in the Democratic primary this year. Cuomo was most recently seen dining with New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
Tensions on the Russia-Ukraine border continue to rise. U.S. troops arrive in Poland this week to prepare evacuating Americans from Ukraine. The military does not have permission to enter Ukraine. As Russia continues to increase its military presence on the border, U.S. intelligence estimates Russia has 70% of the military personnel necessary for an invasion ready at the border. Warning that an invasion could be imminent. World leaders, including French President Emmanuel Macron, met with Ukraine and Russia to try and defuse the situation.
Saint Bonaventure? Where the heck is that?
In Western New York, of course, this week SVU Asia performed its spin on 1001 Nights at the Quick Arts Center. The show follows the story of a king who finds love over 1001 nights on his path to healing. A packed crowd laughed with the actors and cheered on dancers through 7 different routines meant to honor Asian heritage and culture. Participants started practicing for the show in mid-October. The club hopes to put on an even better show next year.
Attention all lovers. February 14th, known as Valentine's Day, is almost here. We celebrate to express our love, appreciation, affection toward our significant others, or someone that means a lot to us. Certain gifts may include dinner dates, gift cards, roses, and jewelry. Romantics across the U.S. are spending an estimated $24 billion this year. Clearly, love is in the air.
Coming up in sports, we finally take a look at what a game with Riley the Bonnet Wolf looks like. And Tyler Everett is on to take us through Bonnie's basketball games and ahead the start of this lacrosse season. Stick around.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Yeah, I know. Wait, I don't know. Just look at that. It's so sad.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
The Bonnet Wolf, also known as Riley, is the furry and lovable mascot for St. Bonaventure Bonnies Athletics. Our sports director, Ryan Boland, followed Riley around to give us a look at what game day looks like for our Bonnies furry friend.
Riley gets ready for the Bonnies games about a half hour before tip-off. Then, it is non-stop pep for the Bonnies furry friend. It is widely known that Riley owns some of the best dance moves inside the Riley Center on Bonnies game days. But where does he get the inspiration for all his moves? I asked him, and remember, Riley's true identity stays confidential. A humble wolf, Riley is. He became the Bonnies mascot this season for a simple reason: his enthusiasm and his love for kids. Throughout the Bonnies basketball games, Riley can be found all over the arena. At times, a fan could even play a version of Where's Waldo to locate Riley. See if you can find him. There he is, immersed in the Bonnies student section, silently but enthusiastically cheering on the Bonnies. Even with my authorization to follow Riley around, there is still some aspects we aren't allowed to see. Riley, of course, needs bathroom and water breaks throughout the game. I asked Riley, how hot does it really get inside that furry suit? A sacrifice for the true love of bringing the Bonnies fans together and cheering on the Bonnies enthusiastically, without ever saying a word. For Sbu-Tv, I'm Ryan Boyd.
The next time we will see Riley is in the Riley Center when the men's basketball team returns from the RC on Monday, February 14th. Now, it's time for sports with Tyler Everett.
Welcome to Sbu-Tv Sports.
Welcome to Sbu-Tv Sports. My name is Tyler Everett. The biggest sporting event of the year happens this Sunday in Los Angeles. We go live right now to LA with our very own Nick Roloff. He has a preview. He has a preview. First, Nick, tell us about the big game.
Welcome back into the LA Convention Center. Thank you, Tyler. Radio Row is just an awesome experience. You got athletes walking around all the time. It's just a dream to be here as a journalist and be able to cover it. It's great at WSBU-TV and sending us out here and stuff. It's great. Back preview the big game on Sunday. The Bengals and Rams have not matched up since 2019, and that time they had different quarterbacks and all eyes are on the new quarterbacks, Joe Burrow and Matt Stafford, both former first overall picks, and both of them are playing in their first Super Bowl. This marks the second time in NFL history where the two quarterbacks starting in the Super Bowl were former first overall picks. I believe this game will be decided in the trenches between the offensive line and the defensive line. Von Miller and Aaron Donald are going to have a field day with that Bengals O-line, and they're looking forward to the matchup. You know, the Bengals have the 20th ranked offensive line according to PFF, so that's a weak point for them. They're going to have to overcome some adversity. But I believe the Bengals will be able to. I mean, no one thought they would be in the Super Bowl as we speak, and here they are knocking off the Chiefs and Titans on the road. I think they overcome their issues, and the confidence of Joe Burrow and the weapons at wide receiver with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins overcomes that. And going against our population here, because about 70% of our guests believe the Rams are going to win, I'm going with the Bengals, 27-24. Going back to you, Tyler.
Nick, it looks like fun out there, and thank you for the insight on this year's big game. And have a safe weekend getting back. The Bonnie's Ben's basketball team ended a 2-game skid on Tuesday with a win versus the Fordham Rams. The Bonnie's next matchup will be tonight against the St. Louis Billikens, who have won 6 straight games and sit second in the A-10 conference standings. Here's head coach Mark Schmidt on the team's mindset heading into the game.
Mindset's just like it is every game, coming off a win or a loss. You know, the next game is the most important game. We prepare like it's the most important game. We know who the opponent is. It's a very good opponent. They've won 6 in a row. But we gotta take care of ourselves. We gotta prepare the right way.
The Bonnies will face the Billikens tonight at 9 p.m. on ESPN2, and again versus the Billikens on Monday right here at the Riley Center at 5 p.m. That game will air on the CBS Sports Network and as a rescheduled game from the January 8th postponement. Taking a look at the women's slate for Bonnie's basketball, they are coming off a tough loss against UMass at home Wednesday, but will travel to our nation's capital to face off against the George Washington Colonials, who are coming off their first A-10 win of the season. The Bonnies head into tomorrow's game after winning 4 of their last 6 and sitting 9th in the A-10 standings. That game can be viewed Saturday at 2 p.m. on ESPN+. This week on BBN, we discuss the Bonnies' home-and-home series against the St. Louis Billikens this weekend. What went right and what went wrong? We look towards the Atlantic 10 tournament in Washington, D.C. and get highlights from the Bonnies' game this Saturday against George Washington. This is BBN. BBN airs every Tuesday at 5 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. The St. Bonaventure men's lacrosse team is back in action this weekend following their historic season full of firsts. The team is coming off their first ever win and MAC championship win last season. Heading into year 4, head coach Randy Mearns preaches high expectations.
Very, very big expectations this year in terms of, where we are as a program and, how successful we can actually be, during the season. But we know everything is, it's really, really hard to do. And if this dream can start to become a reality of trying to get to the NCAAs.
The team will be led by Jake Rosa, the MAC preseason player of the year. The Bonnies travel to Philadelphia to face off against the St. Joseph Hawks at 12 p.m. A weekend for both Bonnies basketball and lacrosse teams. Get the scores right after the final buzzer. See our player of the game and more by following our social media accounts at Sbu-Tv Sports. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. That's all for sports. Today, back to you, Jordan.
And before we go, we want you to follow Sbu-Tv on Facebook and Instagram. We will update you on all the news you need to know throughout the week, not just on Fridays. And with that being said, this concludes the end of our show. I'm Jordan Mejia.
And I'm Jordan Fitch. Jordan, I don't know if I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl or Valentine's Day more. I'm going to have to go with the Super Bowl on this one.
Well, we'll see you guys next week.